The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Tastes just like candy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask for Candy, where a bunch of powerhouse women and a few brave dudes get together to talk about love, sex, relationships, and what it takes to be amazing on the daily. Who I am Candace Harper, lovecoach.com, coming to you live from the Garment District in NYC. I teach and inspire audacious intimacy to powerful professional grown women who want real relationships from seductive singlehoods. More importantly, I help hardworking women who have survived abuse become vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate so they can easily recognize and create healthy relationships. And happy Monday, everybody. I see my Lee just joined. I see Kurt David Hogan just joined. What's up, guys? My people on the Facebook are trickling in. You might be listening on your TuneIn app on your smart device to Armed Radio, or maybe you're listening in the garden on armedradiogrobal.com. We're also on iHeartRadio, so if you have an Alexa, you can ask for Candy. And for the streamers, we're also available on Spotify and Spreaker, or maybe you're live here with my peeps on Facebook. Lee says, you are amazing on the daily. Oh, Lee, you're amazing on the daily. I love that you keep coming back to us. I see Anthony joined. Hi, Anthony. So we got a lot of boys coming in. Those of you on the Facebook Live can see that I have two very beautiful women in the studio with me. My Jamie, as usual, and our special guest, Mariel, who I'm going to introduce you to in a second. But just so you know, you can, if you're live on Facebook, we want you to join the Creative Love Collective. We want you to join Armed Radio Group News. We want you to join, what's your group, Mariel? Which we'll tell them more about. Huh? Yeah, your Facebook
Best
group.
Business Friends.
Best Business Friends. We got a lot to tell you about. We got a lot for you to do, especially if you're on Facebook. If you're listening out in the ethers and you get on Facebook later, you can still join our groups too. If you're shy, you can call us at 1-800-508-5431. If you don't want to be seen, you just want to be a voice and you want to join in our conversation, you have a burning question, or you can email us at askforcandypodcast@gmail.com and we'll answer those questions in a later broadcast. So this is the time on Ask for Candy when we share. We got to make sure all those groups I mentioned. Jamie, I know you're sharing with the Savvy Sisterhood. Hello to the ladies of the Savvy Sisterhood. We're about to join you actually in the group. And what group? You want to share in your BFFs group, Mariel?
I'm actually going to share.
All right.
And we're doing a live and
All right. I am sharing into the Armed Radio business page right now. Watch us now. And I'm sharing in the Creative Love Collective. Kurt David says, hey, Mariel. Do you know Kurt David?
oh my goodness. Hello.
That's awesome. So like I said, I'm Candace Harper, Love Coach. My talent is conversation. My passion is personal growth. And my purpose is to teach and inspire radical acceptance in myself, self-acceptance in myself and others so that we can all have our best possible love life. And that is why this is a conversation, people. We're not here to hand down a bunch of dating and relationship rules or rights and wrongs. We're not here to shame your love situation. Our only intention is to create audacious intimacy, seductive singlehoods, and healthy relationships. So tonight and every Monday night, we're going to do what we do, which is to have conversations that engage, educate, and or enlighten all of us in the areas of love, sex, relationships, and vibrating high. And tonight's topic is solidify your business with Mariel Alvarado. Solidify your business is your business, right?
That's right.
Mariel is a certified business strategist with over 15 years of entrepreneurial experience. She coaches women on branding, packaging, and selling. Her signature process combines hardcore business strategies with a soulful technique that helps her clients build a lucrative business from the inside out so that they can captivate their audience and love their life simultaneously. I love that. So Mariel, this is Mariel, everybody. Woo! So Mariel, tell us a little bit something about yourself, something personal, get related with the folks.
Oh my goodness.
Let them know who you are.
I am a mama of two crazy who are always keeping me stucking in my house.
How old are they? I think you said one was 4,
9,
right?
Yes,
Okay.
9 and
Awesome.
so yeah, they keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aww.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
I know, right? And she's an entrepreneur and a mom. So for all of you out there who are parents and trying to start your business, you have a lot of like really good juicy nuggets for them, right? For how you balance all that stuff. Which we're going to get to all
balance?
that. Right. So the goal of this show is to inspire and open up the conversation around living and creating your dreams, packaging and selling your dream, what it really takes, and how to do it with or without a partner. So we're going to get into the love thing. We're going to get into all the different elements that are included in like, you know, really having your dream come to fruition. And my Jamie is back. Those of you who regularly watch the show, right? We missed Jamie last week. She's back in action. So we're glad to have her. You want to say hi, Jamie? You want to say
hi, everybody. Missed you.
Right? Yay. So who's joined us? Brandon joined us. Robert joined us. Hi, guys. We got all the men in the house tonight. I feel like we should be like, ooh.
And yes, Kurt, I do remember you from Miami. Absolutely.
You guys met in Miami?
Yeah,
he actually,
he was on my sales team.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah. See, making connections. Yeah. It's a small world. Ryan just joined us. Hi, Ryan. That's good. All right. So I think we should just jump in and start having a conversation. Before we started.
That's the only way I do it.
Right? Just get right in. Before we started, we were just having and we're in a very beautiful, intimate space, and we were having girl chat. We're drinking our wine, and it's delicious. Mariel, thanks to Mariel. So let's dive in. I have some questions.
Okay.
And we're just gonna let it go where it goes.
Let's do it.
Right? Okay. So my first question: what is the biggest marketing mistake people make when deciding to sell their product or service?
Biggest marketing mistake is not knowing having an idea of who their ideal client is, but not really honing in on who that person is. Not having a package. I'm going to give you 2.
Yeah.
And not having a package that solves a exact problem for that specific. I feel like most people want to play it safe.
Yeah.
They want to serve everyone, and when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one.
Yeah.
So it's a rookie. I'll make that mistake. Fraud. We talk a lot about, our expertise, but unless exactly who you're talking to, and you can have that they know that they have. People just, they might know they have something that they want to solve for people, but that person doesn't know they have that problem.
Yeah.
So it's like you're either swimming downstream or upstream. Yeah. When you're niche down, you want to definitely and help them solve a problem that they do.
Go with the flow of it. I love that metaphor for it's like downstream. It's like it's ease, right? It's
ease. So you want to solve a problem that someone is totally. You can't come to someone from themselves if they don't know, if they conceptualize that, don't know that they have that problem. You may see that problem in them, but they don't know they have that.
Yeah. And they might even hear, from a love coach perspective, they might even get mad at you if you identify that problem in them. Because they'll be triggered, right?
They'll be triggered.
Depending on what you're selling.
They have to be aware that they have that issue and want to solve it.
Yeah. I gotcha. I see Angela. Hi, Angela. Angela just joined us. She's one of our regulars.
Brand.
Yeah, so I like that. So the biggest mistake is not honing down and really getting specific. And it's so funny because I believe that that's true about dating too. Just getting clear and specific about who you're talking to.
Totally.
Yeah.
Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be with?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, go ahead. If something came up, please share it.
No, because you actually triggered that in me. I've always been a very person. I just knew what that person had to be like, and
I agree.
sometimes you just don't know. You grew up in a family where that individual never even existed. You don't know to ask for that, right?
Yeah.
But until you actually get really specific on what you want and need from an individual, so it's the same thing.
Right?
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. Now, do you feel like, okay.
It's funny because I call them soulmate clients. You want to have soulmate clients. But same thing, you want to be.
a soulmate to you. Now, did you actually do a process? Because I know you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually, and I always ask this of my married ladies, I feel like I've asked you this before, Jamie. Like, do you feel like you did a process where you were like so specific?
Yes.
That did you write a list?
100%.
You did?
And I met him today.
Did you really? The list works.
The list works. Yeah.
So that takes me on a whole nother tangent because I also have this whole thing
I don't know.
about-
We're actually not married.
Huh?
We're not officially married. We've been together for forever. We have
Really?
2 kids, and we are not actually.
Although I feel like whatever, that's a whole other conversation, the piece of paper of marriage. I feel like that's something
Well,
that
I always call him my husband because, I mean, we call each other. That's just like, I don't.
because you've been together for so long. Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, that's a whole other topic. You don't have to be.
You're absolutely right. And I feel like the officialness is between the two people. It's not like for one couple, officialness means getting married on the beach and having a big ceremony and signing papers. For another couple, it means, we've been together and we commit to each other forever. Like it's very individual. I feel like it's very important that it be. Yeah. And it speaks back to like, when you're doing a service business or something like that. It's like, what works for you and what is your zone of genius is going to attract exactly who needs your zone of genius, right? As opposed to somebody who's for somebody else. And I think we get so caught up in like trying to make sure that we please everybody, like you said, trying to speak to everybody. Yeah. When we're dating or doing business.
Exactly. I mean, when you're dating and you're trying to for everyone and, just kind of of what you're supposed to business, because what I see a lot of people doing in business is like everything. Same thing with dating.
Just be liked. Yeah, right? Somebody out there just like me.
And which is funny because one of the first things that I teach my clients is like, you got to pick an edge. Yeah. You've got to be a little bit. You have to know what you stand for and have those values clearly defined. Same thing with and that. Happy, not just following what your parents
thing. Like clarity for yourself.
Right.
I love it. All right, so back to business, and we're gonna go back and forth between love and business and love, because I feel like
how you do love is how you do money is how you do love.
Right? It's true. I say that all the time. Like how we do one thing is how we do everything. It's like it's how we show up for ourselves, right?
We were talking about that earlier.
Totally.
Right? We were talking about money.
Yeah. So I feel like it, and we also were talking about, which I love because it was one of the first conversations we had. You mentioned how you feel like when you're taking people through the sort of business process and the marketing process, how when you decide to start a business, when you decide to go into a relationship, when you decide to endeavor anything in your life, you're going to be confronted with all your shit, right? Like that's how you get self-realization, is by really...
Same thing with relationships.
Right? It's like coming up against everything because you're trying to achieve this desire or reach this vision or whatever it may be.
I think evolution, right? Evolve in any area of our life. Like we're going to be hit with resistance because we are not survive. Yeah. Right. And in order to grow, you have to take risks. Part of our brain doesn't like us because it just wants to. Right. So it wants to keep place. So you're all these tricks on you and says, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're going to fail. Yeah. That's not how it's supposed to be. So that's where the monkey. Right. So it's the same thing in business, and I think in relationships too.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Right? Like don't get out of your comfort zone.
And then all of a sudden it's like, so that you can grow.
The resistance comes up, especially if it starts to feel really intimate, I feel like. So too, James?
Sure.
James, did you do the process when it came to Tristan? Were you like I know what I need in my next relationship is this, this, and this?
Actually, when I remember specific time. Oh, this is and out. But there was a glimmer of hope, and the hope partner. And then once I got divorced, I sat down many days and I am, and I made it present tense and I described what it felt like. I think.
Yeah. Wait, when you say I am, because that reminded me of an exercise that I like to have people do where you do your list and then you do your list as I am statements. I feel like that would translate with clients too.
Oh yeah.
Like if I say I want,
do that.
Do you?
Oh, 100%.
I love that process, right? Yeah. So like when you were thinking about who you wanted next and you said you had a glimmer of hope that it could be somebody that was like a hell of a lot better than the guy you were with. When you wrote those, you wrote them as I am statements?
Mm-hmm.
See,
yeah, I wrote the whole
that.
story.
It's funny because you material are first. So it's all about like your identity.
Yeah.
So, for example, and they're like, I know, I'm what I do. Yeah. As if that were like a badge of honor, right? Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Be a salesperson, you have to know how to do it, right? Yeah. So until you see possibility of you being that a salesperson, own it. Of I am a saleswoman who attracts all these. That's an identity. So if you actually adopt that identity and you reprogram your mind to be okay with that, then start doing this.
Yeah.
So once you change actions,
different result.
You get a different result.
I love too that you said attracting, because everybody hates sales and everybody hates dating, and it's that same reason. It's because
I loved sales and I love dating too.
Because the way you framed it, it's exactly what you said. It's the way you framed it, right? So people who hate dating and hate sales, they're thinking of it as something different than attracting.
That's true.
They're thinking of it as I gotta, sell myself. I have to be good enough. I have to like convince this person that they need me, rather than just attracting. Like just, being who I am authentically and attract. And you use that word like that's the perfect.
That's so true.
Yeah, as soon as you like reframe it, dating, sales, like any of that sort of thing that requires enrolling other people, reframe it as attraction rather than like trying to convince. Because trying to convince anybody of anything sucks.
Right? You are so right. I mean, with sales, for example, anytime you're doing sales and you feel like you're convincing someone of something, that's the moment that you feel yucky, icky, and it doesn't work.
Death of a salesman.
Yeah, but when you actually reframe that to horrible for me to not share this.
Yeah. And I have so much to share.
And I have so much to share. And think about that. Like, if you say, use that in a relationship.
Exactly.
I have all this stuff. So much amazing,
right?
But we don't usually feel that way about ourselves. That's the problem.
That's totally it. That's totally it. I see Joe Pryor joined us. I'm so glad you joined us, Joe. Joe wrote a really great book. He's going to be a guest soon. He says, we are listening. He says, lists do work. And Wally Gavrick joined, and Rico Dyer, and Kenya Parms McGee. Hi, honey. And Kurt says, what's to hate about either? That's right, Kurt. We agree with you.
About either what?
About either dating or sales.
Right.
I think Kurt enjoys those things too.
He's a really good salesperson.
Is he? Yeah. Kurt's one of my favorite Facebook friends. That's awesome. I'm glad we're see. This is the thing about sitting down with people and social media. It's like you get to know who's met who and who's connected to who. I would have never put you two together.
No, me either. That's
right?
Awesome.
Hi, John Prezzuti, who just joined. Okay, so let's go to the next question. It's reported that women accounted for 26% of current business owners in 2018, so a year current, which was 8% increase compared to 2017. Why do you think that women's entrepreneurship is on the rise? What's your theory about that?
I think that more and more women are seeing how it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Other women do. So I think it's just part of that. I think that's probably double within the next, less and less opportunity have work-life balance.
Yeah.
So the more that happens, and a lot of women who are moms or who want to be moms, have that freedom, then there's no other option than to go into business but for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's also like the trend in the movement right now too, is like you said, work-life balance, but also what we were talking about earlier is being valued for your creativity and being paid for your purpose, like being paid for who you are.
So see, that's what I was going to say. Like, I believe the trend go towards, in my world, in my world, one day everyone's going to live off of their gift.
Yeah,
that's what I believe. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be or necessarily, but totally with working from their activity.
Yeah,
the divine right off of that creativity, which isn't just about painting. That there's so many different ways that we all.
Jimmy, are you poking us? What? Oh, Jimmy's telling us to get closer to the mic.
Oh,
because so the armed radio people can hear us. James, you get in here too. Wait, what did Joe say? Yes, I will be there one day soon. Thank you again for the yes, Joe, you are invited. Now I see Christine from the Savvy Sister. Did we shout out the Savvy Sisterhood yet? What's up, Savvy Sisterhood, honey? Jamie, you share us on the Savvy Sisterhood? Okay, so the girls are watching us too. So I totally agree with you, and I love this idea that the world is shifting towards self-expression,
exactly.
Right?
I love it. You just said it best.
But I strongly believe that too.
Yeah.
But I also think too, it's like that scary thing that's I always say that, especially in New York, so many of us are like in survival mode, trying to pay bills and afraid to make that crossover.
Right.
And if we are willing to make that crossover, it's like, I know for me, it was a point of desperation. Like I had to get laid off from a regular paycheck and actually not have anything as a safety net to be able to just be like, you know what, fuck it. I'm not getting any younger. I might as well actually start pursuing something I really love to do.
Right.
But I was talking to a friend the other night and she's like, I'm not going to give up my expensive Brooklyn apartment and I'm not going to give up the lifestyle I have, but I want to live my dream.
Well, you can't have both sometimes.
Sometimes you can't.
So that's the thing. Like we can't sit here and say, and give people this like, that called like the blown up dream, like a bubble,
like the pie in the sky.
Yeah, it's not a pie in the sky. We all know being an entrepreneur is hard as work. And you have to, we were talking about that, face all the shadows that you have to face on years. So when you become, the cool thing is that when you do face those fears, you become more powerful. Yeah. That's where the empowerment actually happens, because you're actually living off of what you do. But you have to make those tough choices. Like you might have to move out of your expensive Brooklyn apartment.
Let go of the amenities.
Well, you might have to bring in a roommate. There's so many things that we have to do in order to, I don't like saying the word like sacrificing, but there are small, have to do a long path in order
what we ultimately want, right?
Which all those things I think grow us.
And the thing too is, like, I feel like even when we say, wait, what did Kurt say? He says, Mariel, you look like the child of Ashley Judd and Benjamin Bratt. Just saying while I'm enjoying you all.
Oh my God.
Kurt's a nut.
Well,
you do a little bit. That's right. I nailed it. Those are two very good-looking people.
Thank you, Kurt.
Right? That's nice.
I definitely see the Benjamin Bratt. I don't know about the Ashley Judd, but I'll take it.
Right? Like, why not? Totally. Wait, what were we talking? Oh, you were talking about like with sacrificing. And I was saying earlier about, this idea of like starting a business, and when we endeavor on anything that is like a dream or something that we want to go for, it's like, I agree with you, because sacrifice feels like it's a hard word. And even when you think about in terms of like it being hard work to make it happen, I think that it all comes down to framing, right? And what your context is for things. But I think what makes it hard is how we resist being uncomfortable.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because
Totally.
it doesn't have, like, one thing I'm noticing, and the more that I have, you know, downsized and released some of the things that I felt like I had to live with and all of that stuff just so that I could do what I needed to do otherwise, I realized that I had so much association with, like, the discomfort of not having, because I was so attached to what I did have. And then when I didn't have it anymore, or like actually lost things that I thought that I needed or whatever, and was forced to like be without, I got to be confronted with, you know, okay, so you're still okay, right? You're still you can still be creative and stuff like that. And I think that that's part of what the fear is no one wants to willingly let go of these, whether it's trappings. For me, it was a big apartment that I'd worked most of my adult life to have, outdoor space in New York City, high rise with a doorman, like so attached to it, you know, but I had to give it up.
And there's nothing wrong with loving good things. I mean, I love good things. I do. I mean,
a what? Oh,
a brand whore.
A brand whore.
I love beautiful things. So it's not about, you know, punishing yourself or saying I have to sacrifice in order to be successful. Not necessarily. You have to become different than you are now.
Yeah.
But to get from point A to point B, different version of yourself. If you can become that different version like this, then you probably won't have to sacrifice so much. But most of us don't. We don't. Nobody gets on the self-help bus and says, "Yeah, transform every single day." If it hurts so much, because transformation and growth sometimes hurts. Kind of like going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So you know, the faster you transform, the faster you recognize, the faster you get help too. Like I'm sure when you help some of your clients, like sometimes we put ourselves through the pain of figuring it all out on our own. Yeah, and the lone wolf thing. That is painful. Yeah. But when you become open to growth and open to, you know, helping other people and having other people about your intention and clarity, things can happen really, really fast. Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to give up your Brooklyn apartment.
Yeah, right? There's always a way, right?
There is always a way.
I see Yvonne joined us. Hi, honey. Joe says, it's only sacrifice if you're not willing to work for your dreams. It's hard, but worth every minute. And Eva says, oh, it's the sassy Candace. Hey, babe. Hi, Eva. Hi, honey. She was in my summer of sexploration. She was one of my experts, her and her husband. Kurt says, brand whore. Like he doesn't know what that is. Jamie, what do you think about it? Like, because I know that you're starting your own thing. You got Sparkle Play going. Jamie's got a whole project that she's working on. Like, where do you feel like you are in the?
Can I ask it? So I'm really excited because I'm going to work with Mariel. Yay! And I felt like it was so well with both of these ladies. Very synchronicity. Is met. I was with them last weekend?
It was like a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, I don't know. Weekends ago.
Yeah,
right. And I was in a high vibing place. I were hanging out. We sat down on these pillows, and then comes Mariel. She just plops down right next to me. And I felt like I manifested her out of thin air.
Oh, I love that.
And her business. Actually.
Great.
So it feels totally aligned, and that's my word for the year.
I love it.
So, yeah, but you know what? Like, whatever the fuck it takes. Like, I'm babysitting.
Honey, I was dog walking, so don't even feel bad.
This is what I mean. Yeah. When I first started my coaching practice, restarted it, I should say, I was out schlepping wine. Yeah. And I hated it. Yeah. I love wine, though.
It's the schlepping part.
But it's the schlepping part that was like, and it was like, no, I have to do it because I believe and I want what I want so much, but I have to fund it so that I can transition. I still remember the day that I myself a number and I said, number, I'm quitting. As soon as I hit it, I called him. I'm like, hey, dude,
I'm out of here. That's awesome. I see Elena joined. Hi, Elena. Elena from the Savvy Sisterhood.
Hello, Elena.
We were just talking about a couple weeks ago. Joe says, also learn to listen to what the universe is telling you. I like that,
Amen.
Joe. Right? And I think that has a lot to do with surrendering. Like, you know, once you sort of release all the trappings and like be okay with what needs to be done in order to get there, it's like the universe definitely sends opportunities and like, you know, different options for how you can support yourself until you get there while you're attracting.
And
like,
see, and that's the biggest truth.
Yeah.
Like, if you can really, in my opinion, if you can really align yourself from the inside, the universe really does send you a ton more opportunities.
Like what you need.
I always say, like the monkey brain, we can come up with 5 ways of getting clients.
Yeah.
But the inner ways can come up with unlimited ways of sending you clients.
Yeah.
I mean, look how we met, right? And I have to say, like, most of my clients come from like these serendipitous situations.
Yeah.
But I
Like
expect it.
get-togethers.
I
Yeah.
expect it because it's like, well, yeah, because aligned with what you want, vibrate at that level. That I know that sounds really woo-woo, but I know that one day someone is going to scientifically prove that.
Yeah. No, I was just listening to a Mel Robbins thing where she talked about that they did do a science study that talked about how like I'm totally paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly how she said it, but it basically was about the changing of the beliefs of the brain, and the more you believe something, the more action you're willing to take, the more you. And even Tony Robbins was talking about, you know, he does that square where it's like potential, action, get what comes after action, results. And then like something, certainty or reinforcement. And so that inspires more potential, and how it's a cyclical thing. But it is all about the changing of the brain and allowing for what the universe brings you. And when you're in a space of openness to it, you see opportunities that you wouldn't see while you're like,
so true.
you know, talking down to yourself, or like, you know,
and you know, one of the things that I really believe, a lot of us, we don't go ahead and value a lot of things that realize we value. So not all of our values are positive, right? So you could be valuing scarcity right now.
Yeah.
And then therefore, because you value that those beliefs filter.
Yeah.
You know, it really does start from your beliefs about who you are to yourself. I really that mindset you develop for business to the one relationships. I mean, there's
so many parallels when we talk.
So many parallels.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Absolutely. And I think, and it's funny that you say that mindset of scarcity. It's like, it's so easy, you know, because I meet a lot of women who are really unhappy about being single. And for me, being really...
All the good men are taken.
All the good men are taken. You know, they're citing off all the statistics. Really unhappy about everybody really unhappy about everyone that they meet. But they are so valuing being in that space of like, it's not my fault because everybody out there sucks and dating sucks and all of that stuff. And when you put that sort of thing on it, your actions are going to align with that, right? So
and you're going to get more of that.
You're going to get more of that. So when somebody nice does ask you out on something that you wouldn't normally do, you're going to be a no. So you're not going to be open to things. You're going to show up in a way, and same thing with business. You're going to show up in a way where you're a no for all these opportunities that the universe brings, just because you value your scarcity.
Yeah.
You value this sort of like, I got to be in control thing. I have a lot of clients that I meet that start out like
valuing that scarcity and like that being in that victim mode.
Yeah.
Like they value being in the victim mode because that victim mode, it's not your fault. It's like life is happening to you. That's actually my number one thing. In order for somebody to be able to succeed, the number. So they first think it's like, not true. It's not my fault. I didn't say your fault. I said your responsibility. So if somebody did something to you, it's something inside of you that caused that person to do that. And I know that sounds really
or attracted it.
Or attract 100%.
Yeah.
So
not that you're responsible for their action.
No.
But we do attract it.
We attract it. We are 100% responsible for the things that we attract into our life.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Good and bad. And because that's such a big girl pant moment, a lot of people can't deal with that.
Yeah,
they're like, no, whatever. That's not true.
Yeah.
Really, I'm interested right now in energy work, energetic addictions. This is like Joe Dispenza. But energetic addiction is we humans all struggle with, right? Just the limiting beliefs that we kind of not our fault because it's in our DNA, it's, prevalent everywhere, it's what we're given world in a way. But as soon as we can bring this any limiting belief consciousness, the idea is to look at it and then pivot and look at the opposite of that. What is the more supportive belief that you can put your attention on? What we put our attention on. And it is about the brain, but it all goes together.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, all we are is
yeah.
It's not asked me, what do you mean when you
field of energy?
We are a field of energy. We're just in solid, but we're still energy.
Like molecules.
Energy.
We're like millions of molecules.
We're solid molecules. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Joey Cola.
And like Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is energy. We don't see it, but we know it works.
Yeah.
At least I always hope it works.
Right. Right.
But it's the same thing, So like our thoughts are energy. Our love is energy. When somebody is in love with someone, they vibrate at a super high frequency.
Yeah.
When you are in a state of panic and fear, you vibe at a different frequency. More of what we put out.
Yeah.
Right?
What vibes with us.
What vibes with us. Like meeting you guys.
Yeah. No, totally.
I totally vibe with you.
Yeah.
We love our Mariel, honey. When I first met Jamie, we were at a women's networking event, and then we were talking, and we're like, oh, we're so aligned. And she took me to the V Club, and I loved it. And Jamie kept using the word serendipity, and I just was like, that's such a juicy word, and it's so true because ever since we met, we've had so much fun.
Yeah.
Like we did a really great New Year's vision board party and stuff like that. Like, yeah,
awesome.
I believe in that stuff. Like you vibrate on the level, you attract that same vibration, and it's just
because we're all energy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
It's good stuff. Oh, this hour goes so fast. Okay. So I got people texting me. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Oh, that's my Jeannie. My house. She says, you talking to me? Yes, honey. You're in the conversation too. You need to get on the Facebook Live and interact with us.
Kurt said the universe's love is God. Yes. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah.
So simple.
It's really
so
simple. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kenya, where are you, honey? Kenya says, hi, everyone. So sorry I couldn't be there tonight. Honey, where are you? We expected you. You would have loved this space. So maybe next time we better see you. I hope you're not out on the town, painting the town red. All right. So let me ask you this, Mariel, because then there's a new segment that we're doing, people. I'm calling it the vulnerability quiz. And it's like we're doing 3 minutes of how many vulnerable questions we can ask. And I'm having all my special guests. I should have done it last week with Elena when Elena was here. But every time I have a special guest, from now on, James, we're going to do the vulnerability quiz. They get 3 minutes to answer as many questions as possible. We're not going to start just yet. We're going to we have, what time is it? We still got like almost 20 minutes. So I have a couple more questions I want to ask you about solidifying your business. And then we're going to jump into the quiz.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So, okay, here's a question I want to know. When you're working with a client, what are some of the initial questions that you like to ask them? Like when you're, looking to get to know them and find out what their pain points are and stuff like that. What are your initial?
Well, first thing that we do is they take an assessment. We identify their archetypes. So what is an archetype? An archetype is different patterns of energy, right? Personality test.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's more on an energetic level. So I always I give them 2 assessment tests. One to figure out their 2 brand archetypes, because most of the women that I work with have to brand or rebrand. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we create a brand that is authentic to who they are. Because once you start having to market your business, it's very, very difficult to market your business if you don't really vibe with that brand. And it happens to a lot of women unconsciously. Like they'll just keep copying each other over and what they see.
Like they see what, yeah.
And it doesn't work because at the end of the day, they can't show up for something that they're not authentically aligned with, right? Yeah. So we do that. And then after that, I give them an assessment to identify their money block.
That's a good
one. Because how you do money is how you do everything.
Yeah.
That's what my mentor always said to me. So how you do money is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And we identify, because we all have it. So the relationship we have with money totally either sets you up for a great business or sets you up.
Totally believe that.
And
Ciao.
yeah.
I can tell stories.
We all can. You know, I think that's why I became obsessed with the whole study of money.
Yeah.
Because I started noticing a lot of patterns in my life. Why do I keep doing this?
Yeah.
Like, sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we identify their archetypes with the money. Yeah, and everybody always gets upset and says, "That's not me."
Yeah, that's me.
I did that.
Right through.
Everyone does. Yeah.
I need to take this assessment.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I know for one thing, I don't know if it fits into to your framework of archetypes, but one thing I've definitely been in both money and love is an avoider. Like I'm someone who will let something just kind of like burn in the ash until it either like goes away on its own, which rarely happens, or actually becomes a brush fire.
That's so good. But that's a lot of women do that,
yeah.
Especially because, or they'll give the reins of the money, you know,
to someone else,
to somebody else,
yeah.
And maybe their husband or whatever, and just avoid it and don't want to see their bank statement, don't want to know how much,
don't want to organize it,
don't want to organize it. They might have a whole bunch of clients, but they don't know how much money they're bringing in. That's why they overspend and then they have nothing.
Yeah,
you know, there's so many things that we do to hide from it.
Yeah.
But so the idea is, the reason why I give everyone this assessment test is because I want my clients to make it.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of working passion, but I really value personally that my clients make. They're good people.
Yeah.
And when you have good people that make money, they
totally.
And
yeah.
Because remember, I want to live in this ideal.
Right? Where we're all self-expressed and we're getting paid for it. I feel like I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Like we're all 100% authentic, being ourselves and not worrying about bills and not in survival mode.
Yeah.
Right?
And it can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do
and building schools and doing great shit.
Exactly. Amen.
Right? Absolutely. Hi, Doug. Doug Frazier just joined. What's up, honey? All right. So we got time for one more question, then we're going to play our game. Actually, let me make sure it's a good question. All right, we already talked about the money thing. Oh, tell us what your trajectory was from employee to business owner, and what is your advice for women out there who want to make that transition, but they have kids, husbands, and careers to consider?
Okay, so I think my trajectory was a little different because I became a business owner when I was and 24. That's how I met Kurt, actually. So I had my own little sales agency. And that was, it was easy back then because I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
Like you were just doing what you knew to do.
I just knew. Somebody gave me a job after college and said, if you learn how to do this, one day you can have up and do your own thing. So I had an office in Chicago, then moved back there, and I didn't know that there was an easier path.
Yeah.
So I got tricked into it, and then one day I woke up and I was like, oh my.
Wow.
Like, I have so much responsibility. I think, or 20. So I decided to quit. Said, F it.
Yeah. But wait, was this, at that point, was it your business at that point?
It was my business.
Wow.
So I didn't quit. I had a process to close the business.
Yeah.
I just took a ton of time off and one day ran out of money.
Did you?
And well, kind of. I don't know. I must have taken like a year off or something like that. And I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go do something, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I heard there's this thing called corporate America. And
I should check it out.
I should check it out, probably. I was living in Miami. And then I came here to New York to visit friends. No, I think I need to get a job. They're like, well, why don't you get a headhunter and see what happens?
Yeah.
So did that. got a job. They were fancy.
Yeah.
And that stars aligned. I had a great, apartment in the village. It was amazing. So everything kind of aligned. I was like, it was the right choice, right? I hated it.
Like, this is it. No,
I loved the company I was working with. Like, I loved the people there. I loved my boss. I loved everyone.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not built for corporate America. I mean, it literally sucked my light.
After that.
And, but I had to stay for a year or two, because when we started a family, my son, our oldest son, had to have an operation. He was a baby, so he was under my insurance. I couldn't do it. Like, it was just really, really stressful.
Yeah.
So eventually, after we got through all of that, I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I decided I was going to be a stay-at-home because that was my dream.
Yeah.
To be there for my kids. So I enjoyed that for about 2 weeks.
You're like, I have to do something.
And I was like, I can't. Because it goes back to the whole money situation.
Yeah.
I was used to having my own money and
doing your own thing.
Doing my own thing. And the truth is, like, choice gives you power, choice, freedom.
Yeah.
Those are 3 things that I love.
Yeah.
So it was very...
I just had a breakthrough in you saying that. I love that you said that.
Oh, good.
Power, freedom, choice, and 3 things that I love.
Oh.
You just gave me a personal breakthrough with that.
Oh, yay!
Because those are 3 things that I love that I wasn't present to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And remember we were talking earlier about, I was like, I'm willing to give out coaching for free, and I'm like sort of underselling myself and not charging enough and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like, is not something I've been connected to.
Oh, see?
Thank you
because
for that.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You can't have that without money.
Yeah.
And so when you do become conscious of that, then you start valuing your worth. Then you start making sure that you can give your clients results that they can invest in themselves in, right?
Absolutely.
It's never, I never think of someone is spending money to work with me. Someone is investing in themselves through me.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So in any case, I was a stay-at-home mom, and then I met my best friend, my sister from another mother. She must be on here. So she is my business partner. She actually handles the BBF network. It's amazing. So we were both mommies, and we were like, this sucks. Every other mom wanted to like talk about their strollers and like all this fancy,
like what diapers they're using.
What diapers? And we were like, hand me the
and watching the Wiggles and whatever.
Yeah, but I love being a mom. Like,
not making fun of moms. Moms are great.
Love moms. No, I loved being a mom. Honestly, it's what I love about my life the most, my children. But just because you have that doesn't mean that you have your creative self-expression, and that you should, because you said it best before we started. You can't be happy unless what? You said
what
it.
What did I say?
You
I
said
don't even remember.
I was like, oh,
I dropped nuggets. Good. I don't remember.
You're like, happiness is being happiness.
Yes. Happiness is being in your full self-expression and being paid for it. Like, not ever having to worry about money.
Trademark
and
that, girl.
Right?
I will. Totally.
Right? Because, like kids, I'm not a parent, so I don't know necessarily firsthand what that experience is, but kids grow up and they move on to their own thing, right? And with relationships, sometimes they don't last, sometimes they do, but you can't put all of your happiness in that other person. It's like, it really is about 100% being able to be yourself, live yourself.
And have your own passion.
And have your own passion and get value from it. Get money from it.
100%.
Right? Power, freedom, and choice from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
We have to trademark those.
Right? Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we just then decided to, her sister was painting furniture on the treadmill one day, and she's like, hey, do you want to paint furniture with me? I'm like, are you going to have wine? Okay, sure. So we decided to paint furniture, and just exploring that one hobby got my creative juices flowing. And I was like, yeah, I want to do something, but I don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
But heck, I'll go on the ride with you. Maybe I'll figure it out.
Right.
You know, so that's how we found our way back into entrepreneurship. Then we together, Brandon and I, had a couple, like 4 or 5 different businesses between that time that happened and now. And eventually I went back into my roots, which is coaching. Which is what I did back when I met her. I develop people and make themselves rock stars. And that's what
I love your willingness to have just gone on a journey with it.
Yeah,
right? Painting furniture, doing whatever.
Oh my God. We painted furniture. We had our own wine label. We had a magazine. We had all these different revenues of income, you know, before we decided to, okay, it's time to like really sit down and think about what do I really want to focus on, because you can't build a business if you're chasing.
I agree.
So that's like the shiny object, which a lot of creative entrepreneurs suffer from that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that is you too.
Oh, totally. I'll tell you this too, because I, like in my own entrepreneurial journey, because I've always been a freelancer, and you know, for a long time I told you I was an art director in television. But what would happen in between is that I would do these different businesses. I had a wedding dress business because I sew. I had a cake business because I bake. You know, like whatever, it was a shiny object thing. It was stuff I knew how to do, but I didn't have any deep sort of passion for. So what would happen is I'd initially like be right out the gate and making good money. And then, you know, something would happen that might be a challenge. And because I wasn't that much skin in the game, it was like, okay, time to go back to a day job, or, you know, let me take this thing I've just been offered. And this is actually the first thing, like love coaching and helping people become self-expressed and self-accepted is the first thing where I'm like willing to like go through the punches and like, you know what I mean? Like that's how I know that it's the thing, because I'm willing to go through the ups and downs and the confrontation and all of that stuff to like keep it moving and have it build into something.
Yeah, you know? It's worth fighting for.
Yeah. And I think the journey that you're talking about, where it's like you're attracted to those shiny objects, it's when we're in a space of, and it's a good exploration if you're willing to frame it as an exploration. Like I think as soon as we get too attached to one thing or another, then we get in trouble. Yeah. But I think sometimes it is like, you know, let me figure out that thing that really lights me up and accept that that was just a shiny object and go ahead and let it, you know, be pushed to the side and figure out what is going to be the thing that I really, like you did with marketing. Like if I can teach marketing, I know that I'm really doing something in the world. Yeah.
You know, and what's funny about that is that like I love marketing because it's just, I love psychology, and marketing is just another level of psychology. But what I love the most about what I do in order to be the badass in business that they want. Yeah. I just think entrepreneurship is like, all right, sure, but if you can become this person, you'll be able to do anything.
You can get your man, or your woman, right? Get your business life. Hi, Michael just joined. Kurt said, choice and freedom. Yes. And Joe Pryor says, and she listened to the universe. It's beautiful when it happens. I think that was from before. Yes, Joe. So we got to get this game in really quick. All right, so let's do it. Yes. All right. We're playing the vulnerability quiz.
I'm a little scared. That's what vulnerability is.
Right? It starts out easy though. So, I mean, and there's nothing too crazy. There's just, you know, if you want to pass, you can pass. It's 3 minutes. How many you get to? I forgot to get a pen so I could check off how many you get, but... All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Ready? Go. What are you passionate about?
My kids.
What's your purpose?
This is empowering other women to be who they're born to be.
Name something that you identify as a true expression of who you are. Something like that really expresses you.
Something?
Mm-hmm. And whatever you want to make something mean.
I think what really expresses me is being there with my friends, like the people that are closest to me, not having any fear with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's your deepest romantic desire?
My deepest romantic desire. I think my deepest romantic desire is to naked on an island with nobody else there, drinking lots of wine and strawberries.
Nobody else but your partner? Or
yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Because you could be naked by yourself.
Swimming and yeah, there you go.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to do for someone you love?
My
Okay. Who do you admire most in your industry?
Who do I admire most? I think my own coach.
Your own coach?
Yes.
Do you want to say who they
Her
are?
name is Kendall Summerhawk.
Oh yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
So she is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm just walked her path because she kind of
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Say my kids, but they haven't grown up yet. But
they're not done yet.
Yeah, they're not done yet. I think really being able to be in my business and do what I love and live from that, like be able to be successful doing it. I think that's
Got it. Okay. So what is your most desired future vision? What's that thing that you're like, gotta have it?
I gotta have it. Power, purpose, or power, choice, and freedom. Those are like always my.
Yeah.
And there's never more of it.
Got you.
So.
All right, sister. Oh, you did it, and we got 1 minute left to go on radio.
I'm still thinking about that island.
Okay.
We're gonna have to book that.
Right? That's the thing. It's just the anticipation of the vulnerability quiz that makes it seem like, oh my God, what am I going to say? But it wasn't bad, right? What did you think? Did you like it?
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
I like being put on the spot.
How good. I love that. So we have less than a minute. Tell the Armed Radio people what you want them to do. You want them to find you? What do you want them to do?
So we have a community on Facebook. It's a free community called the Best Business Friends. Solidify your BBFs. So join us there because we have a lot of cool women. You can always go to my website to www.soul-edify.com, Solidify. And that's it.
Yay for Mariel Alvarado. Thank you, honey. Thank you, Armed Radio. Remember, you are a love machine. If you ever feel like you're not getting enough, just make more and ask for Candy. We love you. We're sticking around for a couple more minutes with the Facebook Live people. Armed Radio. We know you have to go. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for being here. I see Darren finally